Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about my trip at Esxence in Milan. A lot of reviewers went this year. We're all kind of friends on Facebook. Obviously some of us don't quite get along, and we're more friends with certain people than we are others, but in general we're all considered kind of friends. We created a thread on Facebook, like a message group, where we're all talking about when we were going. So we knew that a lot of people were coming this year, and we all independently chose to go. So it was cool to meet a lot of people for the first time. And so yeah, I was sharing a room with Manny and Timmy in the same hotel, and George managed to come a day late because his flight was delayed from a storm at Heathrow Airport. Unfortunately, you might have seen that on a live stream. But the first day, we went and got our press pass. So you kind of walk into the event, and there's a kind of a big hallway with a table set up, and you have to collect your little press pass with your name on kind of this tickboard box. And after that, we kind of went off into an Uber to go to the Zoologist boutique, which has nothing to do with Esxence. It's just an independent perfume boutique that happens to stock Zoologist, because Sergio Momo was going to be making an appearance and Manny had organised an interview with him. So we went along with Manny to support him, and we met Sergio Momo. He was very nice, and I showed him actually my oud with me, my Ensar oud, Shen Liao Ling by Ensar, and I showed him that. He gave a little swipe on his wrist and kind of gave his feedback on it, which was nice. And we talked about his brand. He's merged his Suspiro brand into Zoologist, so it's no longer called Suspiro. If you look at Suspiro now, it actually says Zoologist on the bottle instead of Suspiro. Suspiro is gone, it's now Zoologist. It still has the felt bottles, but the name has just changed to Zoologist, kind of condensing it into one brand. I smelled a couple of his new releases, and when we left, he handed me a bag, or his sales representative handed me a bag with a little set of samples. So this has 4 just small 2ml sample sprays in a lovely presentation. 2 by Suspiro, which is now called Zoologist, and 2 new Zoologist. So we've got Indochine and A Oriental, Herbe Pura and Acento. Presentation on the sample box is lovely, but I might probably review those, or at least do a first impression in the future. That was cool to meet Sergio, it was nice. Upstairs in the same boutique I spotted Floreku, which is cool. And the guy kind of promoting the brand was there that worked for Floreku, and he'd actually seen my video that I'd done in Dubai. He recognized me and he'd watched it, and he was really happy that obviously I liked the fragrances. I did a first impression where I drank Japanese tea in Dubai Mall and smelled these. It's one of the few brands I smelled it where I didn't really have any complaints. I thought generally they're all pretty good, which is rare for me. I will point out I am not a fan of Memo Paris. I wouldn't go out of my way to rate Memo Paris. I think the presentation is cool, but the scents don't do a whole lot for me in general. And I really don't like I think it's called Hermetica. It's kind of another brand off Memo, and they're kind of based around natural isolates, and they're non-alcoholic, so there's no alcohol in them. So I believe they're in water, and they've got kind of a unique patented way of the oils mixing with the water. So they're kind of very natural sprays, but they smell not great. To be honest, I'm not a fan of any of the brands related to Memo except for this one. So if you're of that opinion too, where you think, you don't like Memo, you don't like Hermetica, you might actually like Floreku, because I do. They are a very different style to those other brands. So he actually gave this set to Timmy, and Timmy was like, oh no, you're better off having them because you like them. Timmy smelled a couple and he did like them as well, so it's not just me, but he very kindly gave me the set because he only gave 1 sample set, he didn't give us 1 each. So Timmy was super kind and gave me the sample set. which is cool. I am definitely 100% going to be reviewing these in the future. That's very cool. So next up, we'll go through some of the samples I got. To be honest, this event, they hand out samples like candy, and you feel rude kind of saying, no thanks, I don't want them. So you kind of just say thank you and accept them. So I've got loads of samples. Not as much as some of the other reviewers though. Another part of the event is you get given free bottles. You kind of have to ask for them in general, which I don't do, but a lot of other reviewers do that. Some people, for instance, were getting 30 free bottles in the first day, literally bags fulls of free bottles. Most people will never tell you that. That's the truth of the fair though. Most people come out with bags fulls of free bottles and they'll never tell you that. Timmy from Esxcense just did a video where he shows you his haul, and I love Timmy for that. He's the man. He just, he shows you exactly what he was given for free, and he's very transparent and honest. I appreciate that. I wish all the reviewers would do that. It would just make things clearer and more transparent, and you know kind of what's going on, instead of just people pretending that, that, I don't know, it should be clearer that something is free. Let's put it that way. I got to meet loads of nice people. I got to meet Passara from Ducy to Paris, and she's lovely. I got to smell her Splendiris. I'm just looking on the floor and I can't... Oh, there we go. Splendiris is lovely. She gave me a little 2ml sample spray of this one. It smells like the bottle looks. It's kind of violety and kind of ethereal and soft and very nice. It smelled pretty good on my skin. I actually wore this on the last night where we had a big party, and that was my scent of the night. So that was lovely to meet Passara. She's awesome. We spotted Erwin Creed, which was cool, and we all went up to him and said hello, and George asked him about Creed clones and what Erwin thought of them, and he kind of reeled off a list of who copied him that were in the same building. And he said, yeah, they could copy the top notes, but never the base. And then invited us around the Creed factory anytime we like, and gave George his email address. He was very nice. It was cool to meet him. I actually showed him my oud from Ensar, just to ask his opinion on it. He basically said that at Creed they only use one particular oud that's kind of reliably sourced, like a soft farm oud. He openly said it's not the most expensive, but it's reliable. And other than that, he didn't really have a massive knowledge on oud, but it was interesting to let him smell it. He didn't particularly have an opinion on it. He didn't really want to talk about it too much, but he smelled it. I got the impression, to be honest, that he's not particularly a Creed fan. I'll be honest, I don't know if that's just me. I got the impression that he's kind of, I don't know, like just tired of listening about Creed all the time, I suppose. Maybe that's just me. He's definitely tired of Aventus. He said that. He said it's just too popular and he's sick of people talking about it, basically, and he'd rather talk about the other offerings from Creed. So it was cool to meet him anyway. He was very polite, kind of quiet, kind of... he was just doing his own thing. He wasn't there he didn't have a stand or anything. He was just, I'm not sure, I guess meeting with certain people. And he was just kind of floating quietly in the background and keeping himself to himself. I got to meet Rasse Fort from Fort Manley, and he's super cool. He showed me something he's working on that he's considering releasing. He's not quite sure yet, but he showed me the presentation, which was stunning, and the scent, which was kind of dark. I won't get into how it smells because it's kind of secret, but it was awesome to meet him. His stand looked really cool, and that was awesome. That was one of the highlights for me because he's one of my favourite perfumers, so that's really nice to get to meet him. We actually had pizza together that night. A group of us, all the reviewers and Rasse Fort, we went to an Italian restaurant, and Passara was there when we got there. She was eating at another table, so it seemed popular with people that were at the event, and we all kind of had pizza together. That was cool. After that, we filmed a video together on the rooftop banter video that you saw, and then we played pool, which you can see on George's channel on his live stream, because he live streamed the whole thing playing pool, and I won. I've not played pool in years, literally years and years and years I've not played pool, and so I wasn't really talking myself up, where the other guys were like, oh yeah, I mean, the that kind of banter between each other. And anyway, I beat everybody. So that was cool. I think that was unexpected. I got to meet Victor Wong from Zoologist. So he gave me the little samples of Chameleon and Dodo and all those kind of new ones. So yeah, he showed me as well the up and coming ones in the future, which I can't talk about. It's hush hush, but he's got like years worth of fragrance releases already in the bag that he showed us the formulas for, and there's some interesting ones coming. So I'll probably do maybe a first impression or full reviews of particular ones I like. I got to see Map of the Heart, which I'd never seen before, so that was interesting. To get these samples, we had to sign up to their online newsletter, so I'm going to get spammed now to get these. But my two favourites, I smelled the whole collection. The two that I thought were the best was number 4 and number 3, which is Red and Gold. So I'll review those. They're not amazing, but they were the best from the collection, and I think they smell okay. What else? I met Sarah Baker. She gave me her sample set. She hires indie perfumers to make her scents for her. So she's a brand owner. And Sarah McCartney from 4160 Tuesdays is one of the perfumers that she hires that's done the most for her. Miguel Matos has done one for her called Jungle Jezebel. To be honest, the scents themselves were not my taste, I'll be honest. They're very indie perfume, and I don't find myself that attracted to indie perfume. I know that's a bit vague as to what indie is, but that's kind of the term that I would coin it. They're just not my taste, but I'm very picky and I don't like most things in the world, so don't take offence to that. Also met Alessandro from Mask Milano. He had a beautiful stall, so that was nice. I liked one of his new ones called Love Kills. It's based around Rose. The theme is kind of Romeo Juliet, like it's a bright, alive rose and then it kind of dies as the tragedy at the end. It's a very singular rose scent, accentuated by geranium. Geranium kind of makes it a little bit brighter, a little bit. Geranium uplifts it, makes it a little bit brighter, without smelling like bug spray, because geranium can have that effect. But nice, and it dries down to kind of a dry and dusty rose. Like you can imagine the flowers dried and shriveled. That was interesting. Presentation is beautiful. There was one more brand. There was Acampora. They come in kind of these metal little cylinders and you kind of dab on pure oil. They also come as a spray as well. This is an Italian brand. This was my favourite. It was called just Musk. This smells very nice. Unfortunately, the sample is absolutely minuscule. So I'm not sure it's enough to review, but it says the ingredients on the back. But it was very nice. It didn't last very long on my skin though, but I only had a little swipe. Or actually, no, I sprayed it on. It didn't last very long, but it smelled very good. So I'll try it from the dab stick and see how that goes. She gave me another one called Musk Gold as well, but I preferred the Musk version. There's another brand called Perfume Sucks, and on the back of their bottle, or around their bottles, is the entire formula of the fragrance. So if you're a perfumer or you're someone like me or Max that likes to dabble, then you could copy the formula to the T. It's literally, with the grams and everything, gives you the entire formula on the bottle. I saw another brand while I was there that did exactly the same, but they had a barcode on the box. So when you buy it, you scan the barcode, it gives you the formula handwritten on a piece of paper. So you could make the fragrance if you want to. That was interesting. Perfume Sucks comes with a candy, which is a perfumed candy. I saw George's reaction to eating this. I haven't tried it. And he was like, he did not... he did not encourage me to eat it, put it that way, so I might try it on camera at some point, but it didn't sound pleasant. So we got Perfume Sucks. I got to meet Rainier from Rainier Perfumes, and he's awesome. It was lovely to meet him. He showed me some of the stuff that he's working on, some new stuff. Presentation is looking top notch now. He's got really good presentation, so that was lovely to meet him. And I got this random set. I don't remember this. Hedonique. I remember the woman. She was just kind of strolling around chatting to people, and she was talking to us, and we mentioned that we were YouTube reviewers, and she was like, oh, I have a brand, here you go. And kind of rogue style, or guerrilla style as they call it there. And so she gave me these sample sets. No idea what they smell like. Pure Pleasure, Hedonique. In a world which is telling you to pursue likes to get affirmation from other people you won't ever meet, we think you should pursue a different course. We think you should connect with those around you. We think you should please yourself. We think you should pursue pleasure. So I got a 1ml sample set of those, no idea. I have another one here called, I don't know if this is the brand name or the fragrance name, Chinois. And then it says BN04. Now I don't know whether BN04 is the fragrance brand. It could be. Doesn't really make it clear on the... Oh wait, Bedo. www.bedo. I don't know how you pronounce that. BEDEAUX.co.uk. So maybe that's the brand name. It would seem so. Bedo Limited. It doesn't say that on the front or on the sample. But this won an award. From memory anyway. I think she's called Amanda. She was lovely. Oh wait, it says Bedo on the sample. Okay, my fault. I just have to rotate the sample a little bit. There you go. Okay, so this one, this one won a fragrance award. I don't know if it won the award or if it was a finalist. I'm pretty sure it won it. A vibrant chypre representing the essence of an English vineyard, mossy woodland, green vines, white flowers and deep chalk. So yeah. Might do a first impressions of that in the future. She was very nice. I met her again at the party at the end on the last day. She was helping Sarah Baker on her stand. I met Prin Parfums. He's got 2 new brands, one of which is called Strangers, or Strangers Parfumière. And it was cool to meet him. We sat down at a coffee shop. He wasn't at the exhibition, but he was there kind of showing people independently. He very kindly gave me some little tiny travel sprays. I'm not sure. These are 30ml? Really? This is not for 30ml. Can't be. They look like 50ml travel sprays to me. But they're just small little travel sprays. I picked 3 of my favourites. My favourite one is in fact, we all had the same favourite one, I think. Salted Green Mango. This was lovely. Timmy really liked this one too. It's nice. It's simple. It says on here bitter orange, rose, pomelo, chili, lime, gooseberry, green mango, salt, magnolia, seaweed, guava leaf, elm, seaweed and pineapple. It's very fresh, it's fruity, it's summery, it's very pleasant. The other one is I can't read that. Sangre Dulce with maple, brown sugar, honey, cinnamon, benzoin, sangria, tobacco, blood orange, pomegranate, strawberry, ylang ylang and civet. So I'll do a first impressions of this line and another one called Oliver. But that was cool. I liked those. I liked quite a few of them actually. They were interesting. Kind of minimalist, just easy to understand, easy to appreciate fragrances. That are well balanced, and I appreciate the balance there. So I think that is about it. I don't really have anything else. I was given these House of Oud samples. I didn't ask for them. Another reviewer actually had a bag full of them, and he just kind of said, here you go, have these. And I was like, okay. But I didn't ask House of Oud for these at all. They were just given by another reviewer. House of Oud come in these little egg bottles. Each one of them is unique and different. They're not really my taste. I smelled a few of them and I don't rate them, to be honest. I don't think they're that good quality in terms of juice. There's one that kind of smelled like a raspberry milkshake, which was quite nice but overpriced. Other than that, none of them floated my boat personally, but I will check out the samples since I've got them, and maybe I'll find one I like, but in general they weren't my taste. I only got one free bottle, so there you go. I will show you it. The rest is just samples, which I've just shown you everything that I've got. That's all the samples I've got, but the free bottle was from Ateliers des Ors, and this is an interesting story. So I wasn't actually going to go up to the brand, but Timmy and Manny were sat having an interview with the brand owner, and they were taking ages, to be honest, and I was going around doing my own thing and kind of waiting for them so we could carry on walking, and kind of sat with them eventually. And the woman there, that's kind of the brand, I think, kind of a sales representative. She was called Megan. She was lovely, really nice woman. I enjoyed meeting her and talking to her. But she recognised me. She was like, "Oh, you're the diver with the cute dog." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool." So she knew who I was, and I guess she's seen some of my videos, and we had a nice conversation, and she was showing me the brand a little bit while, you know, Manny and Timmy were talking to the brand owner. They've got a new collection called the Riviera collection, which is very nice. She gave me some samples. This is unreleased so far, but I got samples of those. My favourite one was, let me look, Riviera Drive and Pomelo Riviera. I thought there's three in the collection. Riviera Lazuli was okay, but not my favourite. But they remind me a little bit of Atelier Cologne in the kind of the simplicity, the citrus, the liveliness of those scents is kind of represented in a similar style here. Very nice, very easy to wear, and the bottles are beautiful. They have this beautiful kind of blue colour, and the way that the bottle is split at the back like a kind of a sun ray kind of scatters the blue pattern over wherever it's standing when the light goes through it. It's very beautiful. She showed me the main collection, which I've never smelled any of them before at all. And my favourites from the few that she showed me were Lune Feline. So she was like, "Oh, well, we have a tester bottle, here you go." And I was like, "Oh, that's very, very kind of you, thank you very much." So I got a tester bottle of Lune Feline. I would describe this as a smoky vanilla. It's interesting. I'll obviously do a review on it. It's got gold flakes on the inside. You can see 24 karat gold kind of floating around in there. It's kind of like a snow globe. I found myself seeing it on my table where the gold was on the bottom, and then I keep kind of wanting to pick it up and turn it over just to watch it float around for a while. It's quite fun to watch. So the presentation is beautiful, good quality bottle. Thank you very much for the free tester. That's very lovely. I didn't expect it, so that's very kind. But she was super kind and also gave me samples of, I think, pretty much the full line. So all the, I can't even hold them, there's that many. I think I've got samples of everything, basically. There might not be quite everything, but a good chunk of samples there of the line. So I'll definitely do a first impressions of the whole line. And that's it. That's the only free loot I came back with. And yeah, I've got plenty of samples to be going through. That's my Esxence fragrance haul. I found personally, my overall opinion on the event was that I was a bit underwhelmed by the perfume. I found that wasn't that many exciting stuff. There's some nice stuff that I appreciated, but nothing that really kind of excited me. I didn't discover any new brands that I fell in love with. I thought there was a lot of repetitive, uninspiring, boring, simple, pretty, kind of just generic kind of fragrance. I feel like niche is becoming mainstream. That's just got reinforced on this trip. It was a little bit sad. No one's really pushing any boundaries at the moment. No one's doing particularly anything that interesting. Nothing really connected with me. So I came away thinking a little bit deflated that way in terms of where niche perfume is going. I hope it gets a little bit more exciting in the future. But at the moment, I haven't come away with too much. I found, I don't know, I think it's just a lot of people are just full of crap. Like, some of the stories that go behind the brands, it just seem like bullshit. The presentations are uninspired. And people say presentation doesn't matter, but in a room full of hundreds of fragrances where you're walking around judging stuff and looking at stuff, if your presentation doesn't stand out, you find yourself walking past them, and you'll watch other people that walk past them, and you go to a stand that looks a bit more interesting. That's how it is in life. So presentation is important. I don't care what people say. You can almost sense what you're going to smell by looking at it in a weird way. You can tell that a brand is bullshit by just looking at what they're doing presentation wise. So, you know, if you're into the art of perfumery and niche stuff, you might leave Esxence being a little bit like that, to be honest. That's my takeaway. Sorry to end on a downer, but that's what it was. I got more fulfillment and more fun from meeting people and connecting with people and making new friends. I met awesome people. It's awesome to meet Race and Pesara, and I got to meet Stefania from Menditorosa, and she was lovely. You know, and my reviewer friends, getting connected with people like George, who is absolutely hilarious. I didn't realise how funny he was. He's a legend. He's a party animal, but he's a legend. Oh, that's another thing. I'll just talk about the parties. The after parties are mental. I'm not a party person. I'm not that sociable. I'm quite quiet when I'm at home. Teddy, that licking sound is really in my ear. You right, buddy? We're going for a walk soon. Yeah, so the first night, was it the first or second night? I think the second night we went to a party. It was held by Nishani, I think the brand is called. This was like an Italian villa. It had like a grandfather clock in there, huge, massive old artwork, like oil paintings, huge beamed ceilings, all these kind of... It just looked like we were back in the 19th century or something. It was incredibly posh. There was a DJ in there with the lights low and people dancing, and there was a free bar where you could just get free alcohol. I had an orange juice, and it was a mental party. We left about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, I think. George got wrecked. Most people were drunk. It was hilarious. I got to meet Dana. Dana is a Romanian reviewer. She lives in America. She's got 2 channels, an English channel and a Romanian channel. She was another highlight for me. I thought she was incredible. Her personality is amazing. She's awesome. I love her. She's crazy. She sings. She's eccentric. She's quirky. She's very cool. I really enjoyed meeting her. She was at the party, so that was cool. That party was nuts. We live streamed some of that. I don't think it's up anymore, but it was live streamed if you managed to catch it. The last party was at this huge palace. It had like Roman columns, massive kind of outdoor balcony area thing, kind of stone steps going down to the floor with like candlelit lanterns going down, hundreds of people, extremely posh, like there's a lot of money there, beautiful people in there that are just like, oh my god, like super handsome men and stunning Italian women that are like out of a catalogue magazine, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't belong here. It was a bit nuts, to be honest. Again, another free bar. In the middle there was an electronic violinist playing full volume, like crazy, like nightclub level volume, with a DJ kind of behind, so you got the kind of electronic DJ music and electronic violinist over the top. It was nuts. It was pretty cool. I'm not really into that. The kind of music they played later, the DJ set stuff, is not my cup of tea. But everyone was dancing, everyone was pretty drunk. Well, we stayed outside on the balcony area, and we had a good night. It was crazy. Yeah, we had a long chat on the... Rasse Fort was there as well. We hung out with him for a while. He was wearing a Hindi oud, which smelled cool. The opening is super kind of goat's hair and funky, but it dries down very nice, and I could smell it on him. Sultan Pasha walked in, and we could smell him a mile off. Like, his attar that he was wearing was just, whew, it smelled really good. He smelled awesome. You could smell him from like 5 meters away, and he was dressed really nicely. I didn't get to kind of say hello properly. Unfortunately, he was mingling in other circles, but I noticed him. We talked for ages. Our group of reviewers were the last to leave. We left at 2:30 in the morning, really, really late. We were literally kicked out because we were the only ones left. So yeah, and then I had to we had to leave to the airport in an hour. Like, we got back to the hotel, I packed my suitcase, and we went straight to the airport and flew home. Me and Timmy on the same flight back to Frankfurt, and then he went to Las Vegas. I went to, obviously, Manchester. Crazy last night. It was awesome, very sociable. That's the most sociable I've been ever in my life. I don't go to parties like that. It was quite surreal. I felt like I was in a Great Gatsby movie, to be honest. It was that kind of odd to me. It felt like I was in some kind of weird social elite kind of place where I didn't quite fit in. It was like, I don't belong in this group of people, but here I am. It was a bit odd, to be honest, but it was very cool, and I had really cool conversations, and it was a good night with friends. And that was pretty much it. So that's pretty much it. My experience, like I say, socially and meeting people and making new friends was the highlight for me. It was awesome to meet so many people, so many like-minded people that share the same passion. That really was really nice. I left feeling great, and I loved that part of it. The actual perfumes in the fair were okay, a little bit underwhelming. There are some good brands there, like I say, but I didn't like fall in love hard or find anything that was super inspiring. Well, hopefully niche perfumery kind of goes into the more niche territory in the future and gets a bit more artistic and true and honest, instead of this kind of proviso of fake kind of pretentious is the wrong word, but like, it's done for business, it's done to make money, it's done by rich people that invest into creating something without, I feel, the passion of perfumery, without the actual core love as a collector, as an enthusiast. They see it as a business to make money. I feel like that is the core of a lot of niche brands, and that's not where most of our heads are as enthusiasts. We don't care about that. Having a multi-million-pound yacht on a Riviera somewhere and coining it in, selling mediocre perfume in a fancy bottle for a lot of money. We're more about the art of perfume, and that's a little bit rare in niche perfume. It's getting more and more rare. It's becoming more and more mainstream. That's what I would like to see more of in the future, is actual artists coming forward and saying, this is how it's done. So there you go. It was a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys soon with another one. Bye.